The concept of the sport is simple. Knock down all 10 pins. John Handegard does it as well as anyone in the game. The reigning PBA Senior Player of the Year even has the confidence to compete on the regular PBA Tour. Of the many faces of the handyman, which one will we see tonight? ESPN and the Professional Bowlers Association present the championship round finals of the Greater Albany Senior Open.
It's Friday night and welcome to the PBA Senior Tour on ESPN. We're at Clifton Park Bowl near Albany, New York, the capital of the Empire State. Here are your finalists for tonight's championship round of the Greater Albany Senior Open. Our fifth-seeded player, Bob Hart, is making his third television appearance and trying to win his very first senior title. His opponent in the opening game, John Woessner, is also seeking his very first PBA senior title and his first television appearance. Our third seed, Sam Flanagan, is a two-time winner on the national tour and tonight is trying to win his second PBA senior title. This player rolled a 300 game on television in 1993, and tonight he's going for win number 3 on the senior tour, Ron Winger. And our top-seeded player, John Handegard, is the PBA's most prolific senior champion. He needs just one win tonight to earn his 12th career senior title. And now let's go up to PBA Hall of Famers Mike Durbin and Earl Anthony.
Thank you, Bobby Dinkins. Earl, in the 1970s, you dominated the national tour. Now in the 1990s, our tournament leader is dominating the senior tour.
No question about it. John Handegard is the man to beat. Well, it's close. He's the man to beat almost any tournament he puts his shoes on. This guy is just almost unbeatable in match play. He's 11-time champion on the senior tour. He even went out last summer and won one on the regular tour with the kids.
Well, he's got tremendous confidence going for victory number 12, but he's got some serious competition. The guy in the number 2 position has a 300 on national television.
No question. Ron Winger has 2 titles out here in the senior tour also, and he is dangerous. He's the kind of guy that can get hot on you. He can throw a lot of strikes in a row. He has one of the best releases as far as power releases goes on the senior tour.
And the bowler in the number 3 position won twice on the national tour. He has 1 senior title. He once beat you.
Yeah, he beat me, and he beat me pretty good. It was a pretty good score. It was 268, I believe, something like that, to 258. Sam did it to me a long time ago, but he's ready to go now. And he's going to be tough to beat today. Sam is the kind of guy that can get in trouble because sometimes I think he outthinks himself. In our opening match, John Woessner, he's a rookie to television. He's never been on television anywhere before in his life. He's a great match game player out of the Texas area, and he's going to be a very dangerous opponent for Bob Hart. Bob Hart, an ABC Hall of Famer as an amateur, is in our opening match, and we're ready to go. They completed their practice.
And Bob Hart makes hands with John Woessner. And John Woessner will lead off the match on lane 9, I think. Nope. Now they switch. John Hart is going to lead. Bob Hart. Bob's still looking for victory number 1 on either the national or senior tours. 58 years of age. And not quite making it up, leaving just the 2-pin. Decent opening shot. At least he feels he can convert that spare. Joining me now as he run the 100-yard dash in less than 10 seconds, Earl Anthony.
Not bad for an old guy, huh?
Right, I'll tell you what, you impressed me.
Well, heck, I'm a lot younger than these guys that are out there bowling. I'm ready to go.
And at the 2-pin, no trouble for Mr. Hart.
Bob Hart, an ABC Hall of Famer, but he got that way from being a great amateur player. He's never been that successful as a professional, and he's looking for that first win. It would be very special for Bob if he could pull it off tonight.
Our first look at Woessner. And the light hit does carry. Soft speed.
Soft speed, very fundamental type player, Mike. Very basic game, does everything in the last 3 steps of a 5-step approach. Carries the ball to the foul line like he's carrying a bucket of water or a suitcase. You watch him there. What he's trying to do is get an early roll on the ball, not do anything fancy, just get it in the pocket area and hope, because he's playing such an extreme angle, just outside the second arrow that he's got enough angle to carry. He doesn't need to throw a lot of ball.
Trying for a quick double. Lane knows. Well, first time on TV, and he doesn't appear nervous at all.
Well, he's had a lot of experience against some very good players down in the Texas area. People like Gary Dickinson, a Hall of Famer, and himself a great senior player. So, in fact, he's beat Dickinson a few times down there, some tournaments in the Texas Association.
Bob Hart, lane 10. The weak 10. Very familiar with that lead.
Well, Bob's problem has always been when he gets in a situation where he needs to make the good shot, he tends to throw it. He uses his upper body strength. Instead of rolling it, he tends to throw it. And in other words, by throwing it, his thumb and fingers come out too much at the same time, rather than the thumb coming out early and carrying the ball on the lane with his fingers.
Subject of our average builder coming up later on.
See there?
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Were you scouting me out there as he converts to 10-pin?
Well, Bob's a great spare shooter, no question about that. You don't get to this point in your career if you're not a good spare shooter, and you'll see all 5 of these guys will make their spares very well today.
Already trailing by 11 pins. Third frame. Trying for his first strike. Give him a little more room. Comes back. Ooh! Head pin came off the wall. Got the 9-pin.
The lane condition is such that there's a great deal of oil in the middle of the lane, and it's very dry outside of that. So when you do what Bob just did right here, get the ball wide of your target, out near the channel, the ball gets a lot of friction, comes back very hard in the back. And the ball almost hit too hard for the 4-9.
And what a break for Woessner.
Well, he's enjoying himself out there. He knows he made a major mistake with that shot, got away with it. And the only guy in the whole building that's not smiling is Bob Hart. Here's a look at the style of John Woessner as he goes to foul. See how he carries the ball the first 2 steps? See how he keeps his chin way up like that? He's looking down at the arrows, but he's looking down his nose at him. He says that if he gets his head forward, his shoulders tend to follow, and then he gets the ball off his hand too soon and throws it into the floor and doesn't get any lift on it. So he tries to keep his chin up. That's one of the keys to him making good shots.
Well, he's perfect through 4 frames. John Woessner, 4 in a row. He leads by 31 pins. However, when we come back, Bob Hart will be up in the 4th frame trying to cut into that lead. Stay tuned.
For a while there, I felt like I was the only one who hadn't taken the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. It seemed like lots of guys were using it, so I gave it a shot. Because this proves it deserves a shot. It evaporates less quickly, also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. If you don't think it's the best, call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. Mine never guaranteed anything like that. Guess that's why it's my old deodorant. Hey, take the high endurance challenge, because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
The Greater Albany Senior Open is brought to you by Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant. For long-lasting odor protection, now you've got proof, not promises. And Bob Hart needs a little proof right now.
Well, he needs to get something going, get back into this match. It's a long way from over, no question about it.
Has to carry. Does. Wasn't his best shot, but it did carry.
It did carry. Bob Hart, very capable player, very experienced. I mentioned already, he's in the American Bowling Congress Hall of Fame. You don't get there unless you can play this game very well. He is capable of getting it going and putting some strikes together. He's got a long way to go to get to that championship match against John Handegard. And right now, he's got a very tough opponent in John Woessner.
Trying for 3 in a row. We're in the 5th frame. Study and concentration with that shot. Will it hit it? Will it hit it? It's still spinning, but it will not hit it. Leaves the 7-pin. The spinning 4-pin, just missing it.
It's kind of interesting with all the oil in the middle of the lane. You'll see the guys even using their strike balls to shoot spares, which is kind of unique because most of the times they'll switch balls. So here they can just go right across the lane at it. They'll throw it hard and straight right at the 7-pin.
Hits it right in the face. You know, I'm looking at this bio for John Woessner, and it says number of children 8, and then it has a list like the Euless, Texas phone book.
Oh, Michael. Well, John's pretty good at things besides bowling, obviously.
Obviously. Boy, that ball hoped stopped and then kind of stopped at the pocket, left just the 4-pin.
I like his style. I like the way he gets to the foul line. He's a very deliberate player, and he does repeat shots well. And in this lane condition, you have to have the same ball speed, same release each time to get the ball, obviously, to react the same way. And when there's an over and under condition, what we call an over and under condition is when there's heavy oil in the middle of the lane and extremely dry outside of that edge of the oil. You have to be very precise with your release.
Has nothing to do with under the ground or over on top of the ground.
No, that's the ball return, Mike. That's the ball return.
And he converts the 4-pin. As we head to the 6th frame, he leads by 21 pins.
Scores have been very high this week. Our tournament leader, John Handegard, in match play averaged 239 for the last 24 games of head-to-head competition. That's extremely high scores.
He averaged 232 overall for all 42 games.
Yeah, and he couldn't carry. You know, just ask him.
I'm sure.
4-pin, 10-pin all day. I mean,
trying to get back on track.
Got that one a little inside of his target. Still got it to hit well inside in the oil. That's a pretty good shot out of John. Bob Hart with an opportunity to get things going, get back into this match now.
Trying for 10 in the 6th frame, and his best shot of the match. Talked to him earlier whether he was running out of time to win a title.
Well, Mike, I guess I'll have to wait a few years to answer that. I still enjoy bowling, and hopefully I'm a factor out here, and tonight could be the night. Who knows? But it's in my hands.
Well, it is in his hands, and right now his hands are in the 7th frame, trailing by 21. He needs a double to cut it down to 11.
Well, when Bob makes any mistake at all, it's generally bumping the ball out to the right, as you see right there, and that makes him pull it left, like that, right there. And he got a big break there, but that was a great camera angle he had there. You could see the ball come away from his hip, go out to the right, and your swing's going to come back through in the same direction, which means it's going to go to the left, and the ball goes through the middle of the head pin. That's one of the major mistakes in his game, major faults in his game, and generally that'll show up when he really needs to make a good shot badly and he doesn't want to trust the ball.
Shows up under pressure, huh?
No question.
At the 6-10.
Very big and strong physically.
Well, he converts the 6-10 in the 7th frame, but he didn't bite into that lead. He still trails by 21 pins. When we come back, John Woessner will be up leading by 21. Stay with us, please.
Continental Dodge in Hershey and their all newly renovated showroom has over 100 Dodges all drastically reduced. Bad credit, no credit, or even bankruptcy. It happens to the best of us. Continental understands. Remember, you've got credit at the Continental Reestablishment Credit Centers. Continental Dodge has 96 Neons for just $158 a month, 96 pickups just $207 a month, and 96 Caravans just $228 a month. At Continental Dodge, 1280 East Chocolate Avenue in Hershey. For Honda, see Continental Honda opposite the Harrisburg International Airport in Middletown. For Toyota, see Continental Toyota, Subaru, Mazda in Harrisburg at 3233 Paxton Street.
Wasn't easy trading in the old Taurus. Had room, safety, comfort, so we compromised. I kept the old one, she got the new one. It's larger than last year, with more interior room. Plus, it rated highest in a recent safety test. It beat Accord, Camry, even Volvo and Saab.
Your Ford dealers, the diamond one.
With $600 cash back, Taurus is priced less than last year. Or get 4.8 financing.
You're looking at the face of John Woessner, his first appearance on television. It's the 7th frame. He leads by 21, working on a strike to make it 31. Pretty good. And carries that light hit. He's got all the action going, Earl.
He does got it. He's got it all going. Remember the high hit that carried? That was a great camera angle there. You can see the rotation of the ball. Here's a repeat of that shot. A little more of what you'd normally see it from. And you can see the ball go well down the lane before it picks up the rotation, the roll, and just enough of the head pin to get the pin action he wants. That outside angle will give you that kind of pin action.
There's the scoreboard. We're headed to the 8th frame, and we see 31 pins is the difference in the match.
Did you see that big reaction out of John on that strike? You don't see these guys jumping over ball returns.
Well, give him
No
time
backflips.
yet.
No
Give him time.
backflips.
Well, no backflips. I don't know that any of them can do a backflip.
Now here's a guy that's strong enough to pick up the ball return with the balls on it. He's a physical fitness nut, and he really takes care of himself. So likes to lift weights. Used to box. Very strong physically, especially in the upper body.
A must strike for Hart. And it's perfect.
That worm's eye view, I love that one.
Hockey fans, it's the NHL on the deuce. The New York Rangers battle the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens begin a new era in a new arena, the Molson Center. That's tomorrow, March 16th, 7:30 Eastern Time.
Now Bob's running out of frames. It's now or never, 9th frame here, and he has to have this strike.
Will that arm swing bump out this time?
A little better there. A little better swing there. Got a chance.
And got the wall shot, Earl. Keeps him alive. Keeps him alive here. Still trailing by 31, but he could strike it out for what, 238?
238 a maximum, and here Woessner can still go out for 279 possibility. Right now he's going at a 249 pace, so if he just marks out, he's a winner, but anything can happen in a game of bowling, and that's what makes it so tough to win out here.
Oh, a nice break with the bucket crumbling down for just the 2-pin. He's pleased with that.
Just a little more speed on that one.
Looked like you got a little into the oil that time. It really
yeah, you get it in the oil. You get it in the oil, and it's not going to do much. 3-pound, 7-ounce Brunswick pins. The first 24 feet of the lane have what they call Guardian on them, which is a plastic coating about 9 millimeters thick to protect the lane surface. The pin decks are phenolic, which is a synthetic pin deck. And so the only part of the lane that actually the ball is touching wood is from 24 feet till it gets to the head pin, which is about 36 feet.
Well, that's part of the modern innovations of bowling nowadays, right?
Well, you got a synthetic surface in 2 places on the lane. You've got reactive resin bowling balls.
You're telling me it's the 90s and you got automatic scoring?
Automatic scoring.
Well, Mark will win it.
Oh, boy.
Well, you still got to make that 10-pin.
He's got to make the 10-pin to lock it up. But if he misses it, that would mean Bob Hart would need 2 strikes and 9 in the 10th to win. So, see what's going to happen. Spare shooting has not been that difficult. Remember, all the oil in the middle of the lane. Just keep it on the lane is the most important thing. Keep it on the lane.
That's trouble.
He didn't keep it on the lane.
Didn't keep it on the lane. Boy, just what you were talking about. Nerves caused that, you think?
No question that he's nervous. Yeah, I was talking to him earlier. He said his stomach was doing flip-flops. But still, a fine score, 236. Bob Hart needs 2 strikes and 9 in the 10th frame.
Well, he's got life when he didn't think he would have it.
Let's watch the arm swing at the bottom. The key to his game. A little better there. A lot more ball speed.
Boy, perfect shot.
Well, as so often happens, you give somebody a chance, a professional bowler, and they tend to put it to you.
Oh, Woessner's just got to be kicking himself as he sits there in the chair. Nothing he can do except watch.
Well, I tell you what, I wonder if what went through his mind was the same thing I said on when he got up in the 9th frame. If he just marks out, he's going to win this match. Now, if he thought that way, that's probably why he didn't. You have to stay aggressive. Bob Hart knows that, and that's what he's trying to do. Here, he needs this strike.
Well, the face looks aggressive. Will the arm swing? There, it's there.
All right, he got the 2 easy ones. Now the hard one. He's got to have 9 or better. Here.
9 or better.
All right, 8 is a tie, and we have a roll-off. Here's another look right here, and the reaction of Bob Hart is he gets airborne. And when you get Bob Hart airborne, you've done something. There's a lot to get up in the air there.
Well, 9 is a winner.
To stay alive.
8 we tie. Less than that, he loses. Oh, just enough. Just enough. What an opening match. 237, 236. Bob Hart, winner of opening match, 237 to 236. Coming up, an average builder called Thumbs Up. Stay tuned.
Bring the lanes home with PBA Bowling. The official license game by the Professional Bowlers Association. Now, you can practice at home. Move from beginner to intermediate to pro levels, and the full motion video adds realism. Fun and easy for the whole family, so bring it home today. PBA Bowling by Bethesda Softworks. Get it for your PC today. Available at these fine retail distributors. PBA Bowling.
Hey, where's the kids?
It's just you and me tonight.
And chicken marsala.
Your favorite.
Oh, but it gave me heartburn last time.
Not tonight.
But it's too late for Pepcid AC. The package says you've got to take it an hour before eating to prevent heartburn.
I know.
Why should I have to wait an hour to eat?
Forget that hour stuff. I got you Tangamid HB. Says it prevents heartburn in half the time.
So I can take it now and not get heartburn?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Tangamid HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
If it moves, shoot it. If it doesn't move, shoot it anyway. For big savings, look for the WD-40 bonus ounce can and gallon bonus pack.
She's a brick house. She's mighty, mighty. She's letting it all hang out. She's a brick house. That lady's jack and that's a back. Ain't holding nothing back. She's a brick house. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. She's a brick house.
For our final average builder of 1996, I thought I'd like to talk about something fundamental, yet very important, but often overlooked in the sport of bowling, and that's the hand release. And the reason it's so important is if I don't have a good hand release, all of the other adjustments that we've learned this winter are not available to me. And the mistake I see amateurs make most often is when they let go of the bowling ball, their hand or release has a tendency for the thumb and the fingers to come out all at the same time. Or if it's not all at the same time, there's very little separation between when the thumb comes out and the fingers try and impart force to the bowling ball. The net result of this is that the ball doesn't have a lot of revolutions going down the lane. It hits the pins weakly, or it's what we might say DOA, dead on arrival. Well, if that's not how we want to do it, how do we want to do it? What we want to think of is one primary thought, and that's the thumb has to get out of the ball first. And where this happens is usually right as the ball gets right underneath my shoulder here, the thumb comes out, and I keep the fingers firm in the ball. Make the ball open up the fingers as I let it go like this. And a little drill that I used to do over and over again is I simply would practice that release just like this. I can't tell you the number of times that I've done this throughout my career. In slow motion, a good hand release looks just like this. There it is, the arm swing. Watch the release. The thumb will come out, and the fingers impart the force to the bowling ball. The net result is I trip the 4-pin just like Earl Anthony always used to trip that 6-pin. Remember this. The scriptures say that love covers a multitude of sins, and a good hand release will cover a multitude of mistakes that we might make going to that foul line. And it's absolutely impossible to build my average unless I have a good hand release. That wraps up all of our tips for the winter of 1996. However, ESPN will be back with bowling in the fall, in October, and we'll have a whole new series of average builders. Well, Bob Hart got that thumb out first. He won the opening match and earned the right to bowl Sam Flanagan, who beat Earl Anthony. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Just make sure you stay in the chariot, Chuck. I guarantee you're going to win the dang race. That's good. True story.
You are so special. That chariot thing you did and the water stuff. I love you, man.
You're not getting my Bud Light. Frankly, son, you frighten me.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
And it's more like, I love you, man. See?
How race car driver Bill Elliott eats a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Awesome.
Clear! There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you right under your nose?
It is sneaking up on me. Here, too.
You need Just for Men gel. Brush in, and in 5 minutes, rinse.
It's the sure thing for a natural look.
Just for Men gel.
When sports cream? When legs are sore. When backs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Anacin, more relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
Clifton Park Lanes. Your high dad there, the handshake. Bob Hart. It's finished on the lane that I think he likes the best, lane 10.
Just so you get an idea what Mike is talking about there, the player that finishes higher in the standings gets his choice of starting lanes, which means that Flanagan, who finished higher than Bob Hart, decided that he wanted to finish on the left lane. So he will start on the right-hand lane and finish on the left lane, which means he'll finish the match first. Sam Flanagan will finish first.
And our first look at Sam Flanagan, up quickly, but that's about the only thing that Sam does quickly.
Well, he's what I would call a deliberate player. Now, I wouldn't say he's slow. He's a very deliberate player. Sam likes to take his time. He thinks things through, and he generally gets the job done. Sam can play this game. Not this time.
Yeah, didn't fall back.
Well, he just pointed at one, Mike, right up at the pocket, it looked like to me, or right at the head pin, and it's not going to fall back that much. He has to trust it a little bit.
And see that years as a pro, 33 years. My goodness gracious, started when he was, what, 19, huh? I almost remember that. That's hard to, embarrassed to say. Cross lane at the 3-6-10, not an easy spare.
If Sam can get by the first couple of frames, he's going to give Bob Hart all he can handle.
Trouble.
It's kind of a unique way to shoot that spare, or different, I might say, be a better word, because it's not the most high, you might say, high percentage way. Most players will shoot it cross lane using the center of the lane to skid the ball into the 3-6-10. Sam tried to play it almost like a pocket shot, and the ball hooked on him.
As always, at 10:30 and 50 past the hour, ESPN brings you all of the scores.
See Sam's hand in the ball. Very strong, another very strong player with a great swing. Very free, loose swing from the shoulder. Can generate a lot of ball speed when he needs it.
Well, I'm informed that it's not anymore at 10:30 and 50 past the hour. I do apologize for that. It's at 28 and 58 past the hour. So it's gone from 3 times an hour to 2 times an hour.
Must be fewer scores to report. How's that?
Well, I don't know. It's March Madness time.
There you go.
Well, both of them going through the nose on lane number 10. You know, sometimes it seems the adrenaline wasn't quite as great as it was the 10th frame. The speed just wasn't as good that time.
Well,
I don't know.
Bob just looks like he aimed that shot. Like, oh, here's my chance to jump out into an early lead, and he just kind of aimed it instead of, again, I mentioned this before, that he has to roll it off his hand, like you said in your tip. He can't be throwing it like he's throwing a rock.
When you're strong like that, is that your natural tendency to do something like that?
Well, as big and strong as he is, you know, I mentioned he likes to lift weights. And when you like to lift weights, you build up those upper body strength up here in your chest area. You get a very thick chest. Look at the size of the shoulders on this guy. And that's one of the reasons the ball will bounce away from him, because of the upper body strength, the muscles. His arm can't get past his chest muscles, so it actually moves his arm away from him. And it makes it harder to keep the ball on line.
Leaves the soft 10-pin. Ball in the pocket. Bob lives in Atlanta right now. 58 years of age. His wife is Beverly. Got 2 kids. Likes to golf. Also likes to fish. Cross lane at the 10-pin. And not a problem. Sam Flanagan. Now living in Columbus. Big guy. 6'4", 215.
Sam, let's see if that was a wake-up call for him on this right-hand lane. We're bowling on lanes 9 and 10 here. And the right-hand lane, it looks like it might be hooking a little more, Mike, than the left-hand lane. And Sam missed that spare opening the match. He looks very determined.
Trying to get even in the match. Gave it more room. And that was the result.
We're going to take a look at the style of Sam Flanagan. We're going to do it in regular speed here because Sam is very deliberate going to the foul line. 5-step approach, starts the ball immediately, which is very unusual. Look how low is the foul line, and then comes up. But what he does, he doesn't come up until the ball is gone. That long free arm swing from the shoulder that Sam has creates tremendous ball speed. And Sam has never been the kind of guy that gets a lot on the ball, but he's been very accurate and very, very much in the pocket area. Very seldom will he make a mistake as far as hitting the pocket. He generally is right there.
Well, right there usually carries.
Right there,
Sam
gets the job done, yes.
Gets his 3rd strike in a row, takes a 10-pin lead as Bob Hart heads to the 4th frame.
Now, Bob's got to get the ball off his thumb a little sooner. Your tip today was excellent, Mike. That's the key to rotating the ball properly. So he's got to get his thumb out a little sooner, keep the fingers in a little longer, and guide the ball down the lane that way rather than aiming it. A lot more roll on this one.
And it carries. Tomorrow morning, March 16th at 10:30 a.m., a feast of auto racing as ESPN brings you the 44th annual 12 Hours of Sebring, America's oldest sports car race. The world's leading sports car racing teams and drivers will compete for over $300,000.
That's about the price of one of those cars, isn't it? Somewhere in that neighborhood, $300,000, or maybe that'll just change the oil. What do you think?
I think it's the 5th frame, and you can even the match with a double. Pins kind of fell funny. Again, it just...
Well, he never got that one into a roll. That one was that one really skidded down the lane. It never did pick up a roll in the back end, and the only thing that kept him from getting in real trouble there was the angle that he was coming in. He's playing an extremely outside angle out near the first arrow, and because of that angle, he didn't get a pocket split.
Cross lane at the 7-pin. Right dead center. Sam Flanagan working on a turkey in the 5th frame, leads by 10 pins.
And one of the best things that ever happened to Sam Flanagan is he married a wonderful lady named Jill, and she's been a very positive influence on him. A lot of trust there.
Wow. So he's not moving into the oil. He's just sending it wider.
Sending it wider with more ball speed. And that's
Okay.
it. He's got to have more ball speed to keep the ball from hooking earlier. You notice when Bob Hart or any of the other players especially got the ball, John Woessner, for example, when he got the ball wide, it wanted to hook early and go high because they didn't change their ball speed. Sam went high in the 1st frame, made an adjustment with his ball speeds, throwing the ball harder, staying in the dry zone, knowing it'll hook back. So he has one thing going for him. He knows it will hook. If he were to move in and get in the oil, it might slide or it might hook. So he's smarter to stay there and throw harder.
Trying for 5 in a row. Will it fall? Nope, the 4-pin rocks. It doesn't fall.
Well, those good bottoms on those 3-pound, 7-ounce Brunswick pins, they're going to stand up unless you hit them. These are fairly new bowling pins we're bowling on here. And the guys, even though the lane surface has been the kind that would create high scores. If you don't get it into the pocket at the right entry angle, you're going to leave some corner pins, 10s and 4s all week long. A lot of 300 games this week.
7 of them. Sam Flanagan at the 4-pin. Has a conversion. So we're halfway through game number 2. Sam Flanagan leads by 19 pins. But we saw last game Bob Hart can come back. We'll be back to see if he can.
My brakes are gone. Any chance I could get that fixed in a couple of hours?
Tell you what, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Check in periodically.
I was wondering, how's my car coming?
I have 3 of my best guys on it right now.
With Pep Boys 12 service bays and expert technicians, you're in and out fast. 26,000 items, tires, and service too. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
Phew, that smells worse than I do. It's my sweaty, smelly feet. What can I do?
You need Odor Eater's foot powder. Now it has powerful Arm & Hammer baking soda. So Odor Eater's powder neutralizes sweaty foot acid that causes embarrassing odor. These Dr. Scholl's can't. Plus, Odor Eater's powder can dry up 25 times more wetness than talc.
No more wet, smelly feet. Wow, maybe I should use it.
Odor Eater's foot powder. Now with Arm & Hammer baking soda.
My name's Piano Man. My pro is Reason McBee.
I want to say something, too. Piano Man to change his voice since y'all, you know, this is going on. Just be piano.
Oh, man,
You know? Please.
Second game. 6th frame. Bob Hart trails by 19 pins. Trying to get something to work on. Needs a strike before he can get a double.
Well, that was kind of playing the angle that Sam Flanagan's playing, so obviously Bob's been watching a little bit. He gave that one a lot more room, moved out, looked like to the right, threw it a little harder. The ball came back, but it was a little bit behind the head pin and not quite with enough roll on it to carry the 10-pin out.
2 strikes is all he's had in 6 frames so far. With a spare conversion, he'll trail by an even 20. And the spares are not a problem right now. It's just strikes, but we still have 4 frames to go.
You know, this, Mike, you knew this, I'm sure. This was the area of the country where the first PBA event was ever held back in 1959.
They announced that earlier. In fact, they had somebody in the field or in the stands that had bowled in that first event.
And Lou Campy, wrong foot Lou Campy, won that tournament. That year there were 3 PBA tournaments.
And the 4-pin. Of course, where did you finish in that tournament?
Well, Dick Weber won the other 2. There were 3, and Dick Weber won the other 2. And not only that, but of the first 19 PBA events ever held, believe it or not, Dick Weber won 10 of those. That's phenomenal.
Over half.
That's phenomenal. Shades Bowling Academy. That was the name of the bowling center here in Albany. Believe it or not, I remember that. I didn't know that, did I?
Shades Bowling Academy.
Shades Bowling
You're
Academy.
just a wealth of information over here.
Wrong foot Lou Campy. The reason they called him wrong foot Louis is because he's a right-hander and slid on his right foot.
Bocce style, right?
Bocce style. That's it.
Sam Flanagan, 7th frame, leading by 21, comfortably ahead in this match. But so was John Woessner.
Well, now we get down to the nitty-gritty frames. When you get into the 7th, 8th, 9th, in that area, you've got to pay attention. Can't afford mistakes. Sam well aware of that. He's been around a long time.
Keeps carrying that light hit. We've talked to him about this condition, and I said, this condition just seems to suit you perfectly.
You're exactly right, Mike. Historically, I've always played better from an outside line compared to the inside line. And as a matter of fact, the last national tournament I won in 1979, it was from an outside line.
And we remember that tournament because we remember who he beat. And I'm having water spilled on me right now. Ooh. The 258 didn't make it up that particular time for Sam Flanagan. Very difficult spare on this condition. There's Rich Weber, the tournament director, son of the Hall of Famer. Brother of Pete Weber, coach of Pete Weber, too.
And John Weber. And he's got a sister that can beat them all named Paula. She's the best bowler in the family.
Okay.
And I hope she's listening. And, of course, Nita, she's the one that runs the whole crew and keeps everybody in line.
258? Does he play this off the strike line and hook it into it, or?
He's going to go hard and straight right at it.
Okay.
Right up off about the second arrow, I'd say.
Off the first board.
Sam, that'll get your heart pumping there, Sam.
Well,
here's another. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to see that again. We got to see that again. Here's another look at it. Watch this. He actually plays it right near the edge of the lane. He wants to play in that dry area to get the ball to roll up, and it almost doesn't roll up. he got a little bit of the paint on that 2-pin. That was about it.
8th frame. Bob Hart trying for a strike. Finally gets a trip forward. Stays alive as he did the last time. We're heading to the 9th frame. Bob Hart is trailing just like the last game. Needs a strike to keep himself breathing. Right now, he's on that table with the resuscitator right there, but he struck out from the 8th in the last match.
He's doing an instant replay for us here, folks. He's going to try to do it again. And Bob, just to keep that swing in tight, you can get a good reaction.
Well, maybe just get bold to the 8th, 9th, and the 10th and 11th.
See Sam Flanagan looking up, checking the score here. The automatic scores tell him exactly where he stands. There are very few pro bowlers don't know already. They keep it in their head.
Flanagan, 9th frame, leads by only 11. Needs to strike here to give himself the foundation strike.
Well, Sam really holds his destiny in his own hands. He can go out for 238, and Hart can only get to 227.
Oh, what a nice break. The 4 and the 9 as he went a little more direct.
That could be
Bob Hart gave that a ooh.
Well, Bob's such a nice guy. He's pulling for everybody. Here's another look at it. Watch the ball start doing a roll right there. Goes high on the head pin. This is a 4-9 from the get-go. And I don't know what pin that was. It looked to me like the 6 pin came out of the channel, kicked out the 10. I mean, excuse me, kicked out the 9.
Leads by 11. 10th frame.
This is the shot of the tournament right here. This is make or break time. If he gives Hart a chance, he could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we've seen what Bob can do in the 10th frame.
Oh, he rolled it well. Extremely well there.
Oh, look at that follow-through. He never moved. You see that? He held that follow-through up there. Bob just sit there in admiration of that shot. That came off his hand so clean.
All right, here we are. For possible 238, but if he were to get 9 here and spare, we could have a tie. Another look at Sam. Look at keeping the head down. Here's what you're talking about, Mike. Exactly what you're talking about.
Boy, he held that finish position there. No emotion. He knows that's not enough. He might get a little if he does the same thing here.
Well, he will make a good shot. Whether he will carry the 10 pin is the key. If he can carry the 10 pin.
Boy, what a study and concentration that face is. Holds that follow through.
There it is, the 10 pin.
You called it.
Well, the reason I called it because it's in such a heavy over-under condition. There's so much oil in the middle of the lane. And Sam Flanagan, I bowled with him and against him for a long time. And Sam right there knows that he got that ball inside of his target area into the oil. And when it gets in the oil, it's not going to get into a roll. And it doesn't get into a roll, you leave the weak 10. And here we have a chance for a tie. First of all, Sam Flanagan needs to pick up this 10 pin.
And we saw Woessner miss this in a similar situation last game. So Flanagan, though, has no trouble with it. Finishes with 227. Bob Hart standing up in a very familiar position. Only last time he needed 2 and 9. Now he needs all 3 just for a tie.
All 3 for a tie. And if we should have a tie, we'll have a 9th and 10th frame roll-off with Sam Flanagan starting the match.
What a good shot. I thought that was written up.
Well, not much emotion on the outside, but there's a lot going on the inside. Sam Flanagan, he's a competitor, and he's looking to see if Sam's sitting there. He was sitting there thinking, boy, I'm glad that one's over with. Now all I got to do is beat Ron Winger. That's easy.
Well, we had 2 exciting matches here. Flanagan's going to be a winner, 227 to probably 206. We'll be back talk about our top 24 right after this.
80s biography is going Hollywood to unmask the lives of Hollywood's hottest stars. We'll reveal the truth, not the lies, about their box office fame and learn how they play the game. They're hot. Hollywood Hot Shots on Biography begins March 18th only on A&E.
At 21, he was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Now, Mike Tyson wants to be undisputed champion again. He wants to unify the title. He begins against newly crowned WBC champion Frank Bruno. Is Tyson ready? One thing's for sure. Bruno versus Tyson. Heavyweight championship. Saturday, March 16th, live on pay-per-view.
Joining me is Tim Corley. He's the regional manager for an organization called Bowl New England. Tim, we're in Clifton Park Lanes, but it's part of Bowl New England. Tell me, what in the world is Bowl New England?
Bowl New England is a chain of bowling centers all across the Northeast. We're in 6 states, and our corporate headquarters is located in Burlington, Vermont. We've had 15 centers for the last few years, and we're always looking to expand.
And it's doing well.
It's doing very well. Yes.
Thanks for joining us, Tim.
You betcha.
Scores and everything together, tremendous job.
Final score of our second match, Sam Flanagan defeats Bob Hart 227 to 206.
I did want to announce all the winners. We'll have awards for them. I can't bring them up here, but we will get their awards today before they leave. The adult division Pro-Am winner with a night.
It's payday on the senior PBA tour in 6th place. Local guy just missed, Mike Christie. Jim Lewis is in the truck tonight. Newcomers, Jim Hardesty and Emil Hensel.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to Mike Kilgannon. Aubrey LeBlanc finished second in Jackson last year. Gus Lampo, a local bowling proprietor, and Danny Torgerson, who won in Las Vegas last year.
Our qualifying leader here, Roger Workman. And of course, 300 Gene Stuss. In 16th place, Joe Kratkovich. And 17th, Sonny Dorsett.
Sonny Dorsett, there's a name from the past. Ron Amore finished 18th. John Denton from Midland, Texas, won on the national tour. Larry Gilder. Dave Sutar, the Hall of Famer, in 21st.
Our Palace from Michigan. Henry Blau in 23rd. And the lawyer, your former sponsor, Dave Toole, held them all up. All right, Sam Flanagan going to take on Ron Winger in our semifinal match. Winger, 300 fame. Flanagan's hot. We'll be right back after this.
Phew, that smells worse than I do.
It's my sweaty, smelly feet. What can I do?
You need Odor Eater's foot powder. Now it has powerful Arm & Hammer baking soda. So Odor Eater's powder neutralizes sweaty foot acid that causes embarrassing odor. These Dr. Scholl's can't. Plus, Odor Eater's powder can dry up 25 times more wetness than talc.
No more wet, smelly feet.
Wow, maybe I should use it.
Odor Eater's foot powder. Now with Arm & Hammer baking soda.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over because you control the flow of paint. So you can just keep on rolling. In fact, with the power roller and its accessories, you'll get professional results nearly twice as fast. It even turns cleanup into an easy job. So get a cordless power roller from Wagner and transform every room in your house.
The common shark. It's powerful. It's agile. It's aggressive. And most of all, it's jealous. Presenting the new Tiger Sharks. Everything else is just bait.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 all-season 45,000-mile tires for just $139. Any size, any 4 45,000-mile tires in stock for just $139. Pep Boys, everything but gas.
When sports cream, when legs are sore, when backs ache, When muscles hurt. Wise Sports Cream. Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Wise Sports Cream, because it works.
The WTA Tour swings into action with the State Farm Everett Cup. Women's final tomorrow at 2 on ESPN.
And the new PBA logo. Wow. Some of the fans here, Clifton Park Lanes. Sam Flanagan taking on Ron Winger.
Ron Winger, higher in the standings, gets his choice of starting lanes. Decided he wanted to start on lane 10, which means he'll finish the match in the 10th frame on lane 9 first. Sam Flanagan will finish on lane 10.
Sam Flanagan on lane 9, smoothly into the 1-3, trips the 4. Ron Winger, his last time on television, bowled 144, I believe it was, so he's looking to improve on that.
Well, he also bowled 300.
So, between the two, that's not a bad score, right?
Not a bad average, yeah. 222 average, if you can do that. The hard way.
Yeah, it was in Las Vegas. Actually, it was 142. He says, don't remind me, Mike. Ooh, a solid 10-pin.
Very, excuse me, Mike, very powerful release here from Ron Winger. The kind of player that likes to open up the lane. He likes to play inside. He likes to play around that 4th arrow. He figures he's more comfortable there. And he's swinging the ball in the oil out to the dry and bringing it back. And if he gets a little too much ball speed, he'll be behind the head pin and leave a lot of 10 pins.
At the 10 pin with another ball, converts it. I remember Ron from Southern California days when he was Southern California Junior Bowler of the Year, when he used to really hook it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, he gets the ball well out in the lane, well out in front, uses a lot of loft. And he hits up on the ball at the foul line, point of release, gets a lot of finger lift in the ball and rotation with his wrist, which is where he gets most of the power, the wrist strength.
On lane 9 gives it a lot of room. Roaring back, set, it rolled right at the pocket.
Yeah, rolled right over the 8-pin spot. Not much deflection there.
Got the 9-pin out, though.
Yeah, he did.
Sam Flanagan, who once bowled in 235 consecutive PBA tournaments.
That's dedication. I'm not sure if that's dedication or just no place else to go. Well, Sam loves the game, and he's always been a consistent casher, a great competitor.
Trying for a quick double. Bang. Well, he's wired, I'll tell you what. Winger and Handigard better have their striking clothes on, because I think Flanagan is ready to bump it up a notch over that 227.
I agree with you. Well, Ron Winger can throw some strikes. He's definitely capable of stringing them. The only thing that might stop him will be that solid 10-pin. And that's if he gets a little excited and gets the ball too far down the lane.
Yeah, it comes in late behind the head pin.
Right.
Okay. Just want to understand why I left all those 10 pins.
Yeah, you hooked it so much, Mike.
Right. Well, what can I say?
Sam Flanagan, that deliberate 5-step approach, great free swing, tugged this one up into the oil, didn't hit, got a break.
I'll tell you what, he had the 5, 7, 10 up there, and winding up with only the 10. He's not too unhappy.
Well, he was a little worried for a minute there. Then he thought he might get a strike, and then only the 10-pin. He can't be too unhappy. You see Sam talking to himself. I'd love to have a microphone on him to hear what he's saying, because I'm sure he's giving himself a real bad time. Sam is his own worst critic.
So his self-talk is not too good?
No, he likes to pick on himself because he knows he made a mistake there, got it in the oil.
Cross lane at the 10-pin.
He misses about one of these a year.
That was almost it, but it wasn't.
Nah, not even close.
Not even close, okay. Third frame action. Winger, trailing by 9, can take the lead with a strike here.
Very unique approach here. 6 steps, very fast, doesn't use anything until the last 3 steps to get the ball in motion. And you know where he got this style? Guess who? Look at this. No. And there he hit the dry, slowed it down to get the ball to finish up higher in the pocket, and got the split, the 4-7-10. He copied Mark Roth, of all people, and he said he liked the way Roth, he picked this style up about 6 years ago, picked it, or 6, 7 years ago, and the reason he did it, he said it gave him more time to get the ball in motion and helped him to relax on the way to the foul line. Try to slide to 4 into the 10 here. He's got a chance. Oh, a great try.
Sunday morning, St. Patrick's Day, ESPN Radio brings you the NBA. Will Larry Johnson and the Hornets sting the Phoenix Suns, or will Sir Charles burn Charlotte? Listen in at 11:30, 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Well, open frame. Now he trails by 23, digging himself a hole. Doesn't overreact on that lane.
Well, that was a different release. What he did is he moved out farther to the right on the lane and quit on the ball. In other words, he kind of fanned it. He didn't go through the shot and lift up on it. He just kind of fanned it and let it roll up with no side turn, and the ball didn't overreact. It'd be interesting to see if he does it on the right-hand lane, too.
Flanagan, fourth frame, leads by 23.
Oh, yeah, look at this thing roll up.
Oh, boy. The 4 and the 9 and the 10. And he has a bunch of them on the deck down there, doesn't he?
He sure does.
So Sam, serious as always. Taking another quick lead in this match.
The key for Sam to be successful and continue on is to keep his ball speed up and stay in the dry portion of the lane, outside that 8 board. If he gets it up into the oil, it won't hit.
Trying for another double to increase that lead to 33. Perfect. Can't do it any better than that.
Kept the speed up very well. We're going to take a look at the ball reactions of the two players. Ron Winger on lane 10. Actually, this is lane 9, but we'll look at it anyways. You see the ball going out near the channel. Now Flanagan, you saw Winger lay it down around the 14 board. Flanagan laying it down around the 6 or 7 board and going up to the pocket. That's the difference.
Well, just a nice reaction. A badly needed double for Mr. Winger. Cuts it back to 23-pin deficit. Halfway through game number 3. 6th frame right now. One more strike will cut it down to 13 and let Flanagan know that he's still around.
Sam's very aware of Ron Winger and what he's capable of, and I think if Sam had his druthers, he would strike out and hope Winger couldn't even come close. Winger capable of throwing strikes with anybody. That's the best shot he's made in the match right there. That ball, so obviously when it left his hand, had a lot of power on it. Great rotation. Got the good ball reaction on the back.
Ron Winger working on 3 in a row. Has cut that deficit down to 13 pins. And Flanagan will be up in the 6th frame. When we come back, stay tuned for these important messages.
Hey, where's the kids?
It's just you and me tonight.
And chicken marsala.
Your favorite.
Oh, but it gave me heartburn last time.
Not tonight.
But it's too late for Pepcid AC. The package says you've got to take it an hour before eating to prevent heartburn.
I know.
Why should I have to wait an hour to eat?
Forget that hour stuff. I got you Tangabit HB. Says it prevents heartburn in half the time.
So I can take it now and not get heartburn?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Tagamet HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
My favorite actors are the strong, silent types. Mine are larger than life. They should be graceful. And they gotta look good in public, too.
Now at Burger King, Pocahontas Finger Puppets from the Disney hit movie, now for a limited time on video. Your kids can collect all 6, one with every great-tasting $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal.
And they have to be sophisticated.
The $1.99 Kids Club hamburger meal, only at Burger King.
Sam Flanagan up in the 6th frame. We're having the championship round finals of the Greater Albany Senior Open.
Big shot for Sam. Excuse me, Mike. Coming out of commercial, always a big shot. You're the guy that gets up right after the commercial ends. You've got to make sure you maintain your ball speed. Don't aim it.
And the solid 10 keeps this match very interesting right now. As Flanagan leaves it in the 6th frame. If he converts this spare, the difference is going to be 12 pins.
Sam's just as deliberate on his spares as he is on his strike ball. And here he goes cross lane. He uses as much of the lane as possible, throw it hard and straight, let the oil in the middle of the lane skid it into the 10-pin.
This is Mike Durbin along with Earl Anthony. We're in Greater Albany for the championship round finals of the Greater Albany Senior Open. We're at Clifton Park lanes 9 and 10. In our opening match, Bob Hart edged out John Woessner. But in the second match, Sam Flanagan finished faster than Hart to win the opportunity to bowl Winger. We're in the 7th frame right now with Winger trailing by 12 pins. Flanagan working on a spare. Trying to get back on track. A little high. Oh my goodness, the 4.67. He got the overreaction there.
Yeah, remember last time he got the ball up in the oil, it didn't hit quite as well as he would like to have on that lane, actually back in the 3rd frame, and he almost had the 7-10.
Yes.
Well, this time he let it roll up, and it rolled up a little more than he wanted it to, and that's the danger. If you get in the dry area of the lane where Sam is playing, if you get it rolling, if you actually slow it down just a little bit, it's going to go high on you, and Sam just didn't get the ball speed on that one that he wanted.
ESPN continues its coverage of the Senior PGA Tour with the Toshiba Senior Classic. The final 2 rounds will be Saturday and Sunday, March 16th and 17th at 5:30 Eastern Time from the Newport Beach Country Club in Newport Beach, California. That ball went pretty straight, and I talked to Winger, and I said as he gets older, it seems like his ball goes straighter.
Well, if the conditions call for it, I can go straight. I mean, you watch like Walter Ray Williams, he can throw straight or hook it, so if I have to hook it, I try to. I can't do it like the kids, but if I have to hook it, I'll try.
Well, right now, he hooked it right in for a 12-pin lead.
Ron Winger can still hook it pretty much with most anybody if he really wants to. And just like he said there, he was being a little, I don't know, what's the word for that?
Coy there?
Well, not bragging. He didn't want to brag. He just wanted to let you know that, well, I can still hook it. Well, I'll tell you what, if he wants to, he can get all you need.
Got a little quick with that one, left just the 2-pin.
Well, what he'll do is he get fast with his feet. Remember, I mentioned he takes those 6 steps to the foul line as we take a look at Sam Flanagan in concentration there. Ron Winger with those 6 steps, sometimes those short little steps will get fast, and he'll stand up at the foul line. When he stands up, he doesn't get all the lift and rotation that he normally gets, and so he doesn't get the same ball reaction.
Well, Flanagan, 8th frame, trailing by 11 pins now. Still alive in this match, though.
Very much so. This match coming down to the pivotal frame, 7th and 8th and 9th, and here Sam Flanagan in the 8th frame, possible 234, still alive very much in the match. Ron Winger going at a 215 pace, possible 235.
Will it carry? No. Leaves the 4-pin. Big shot right there. You can't gain any ground if you can't put strikes together. Sam kind of fishing a little bit. The lane's changing.
Those career earnings of $51,000, that's on the senior tour. Sam bowled on the national tour for a number of years and made a few more than that.
Made a couple of dollars more than that.
A couple of dollars more than that.
At the 4-pin, cross lane should present no problem for Sam Flanagan. Head to the 9th frame. He trails by 11. There's the scoreboard. We can see the 11 pins.
They call the foundation frame here, Mike. The strike in the 9th would set up the 10th frame for Sam Flanagan. Ron Winger knows the match is a long way from over, but he has his destiny in his own hands. If he can get up in the 9th and 10th, throw a couple of strikes, he'll be a winner.
Well, right now, if Flanagan would strike it out, he could finish with what, 224?
224. A little under his average for the week, but still a pretty good game.
Big shot right here.
Good ball speed there, but it's still rolled up on him. And the lanes are maybe going through a little transition, Mike. You mentioned it a minute ago, and it's very possible that's happening. Sam, his ball overreacted as far as he's concerned. He thought he made a good shot. You can see by his reaction. The only person that's real happy right now is Ron Winger. He's thinking a couple of strikes and it's over. Actually, if he stays clean, if he gets... but I'll tell you what, Ron Winger will not aim it. He'll go out there and be aggressive. He'll make a very aggressive shot.
As opposed to, say, John Woessner early on when he tried to aim the ball a little bit and be careful. At the 6'10",
that's experience.
Has the spare. Well, both these players have a lot of experience. Winger, 9th frame, leading by 13. Big strike here, so he wouldn't lose any count or anything.
Right, and what Winger will do, if anything, is overhit the ball. In other words, get too much on it in a key situation. Sometimes he just gets so much on it that it overhooks.
Comes back. Ooh, the 2-8. Boy.
See how fast his feet were there? I mean, he really got
flying up.
He got
out
to
of
the
the
foul
blocks
in a hurry, yes. Matter of fact, he stood up at the foul line. The ball just flew off his hand, didn't get a chance to do much to it. And this is a tough spare.
And it also makes it an 11-pin deficit right now.
All right,
for Flanagan.
The count is getting very close. The 2-8, he wants to get both pins with the bowling ball. So he's going to try to hit the 2-pin on the right-hand side, let the ball go back through and carry out the 8.
Rich Weber just held up the score for Flanagan to see. Perfect conversion. He holds up his field goal sign and says, I didn't know where to aim on that, but I got it.
I'm surprised, really, that he didn't shoot it off his strike line and hook the ball into it, which would be a more logical position to play it because he knows what the ball is going to do there. And he didn't know what it's going to do in the middle.
He had to make a perfect shot to make it there.
No question, yeah.
Leading by 11, going to the 10th frame.
Well, a strike here is a winner. Basically, put him in the 213 neighborhood with a fill. Sam Flanagan, a possible 212.
So a strike spare is a winner. Oh, perfect shot by Ron Winger. He knew what the score was.
All right, now let's take a look at Ron Winger on the right-hand lane, lane 10, here in the 9th frame. Watch how fast he gets to the foul line and how he'll stand up because he gets there so quickly. You can see he steps off to the right. He's off balance. That just always means that you were so fast you had to pull the ball to catch up. Here's a look at the shot Mike described as perfect. Look at the balance. The ball's long gone before he falls off on that one, and he's running it out. He knew it was a good shot when he let it go. 10 pins to win. Any 10.
That's enough right there. He's got enough. He'll face the handyman.
Well, a great week for Sam Flanagan, but not quite enough in this one. And the mistake in the 7th frame was very costly. The split, the 4-6-7, was really the shot that did him in. He started very strongly in this match, double, spare, double. Made some good shots, but the one in the 7th frame was the turning point in the match for Sam. Ron Winger took advantage of it.
And the whole last half of the match, Flanagan couldn't get a strike. Never had a strike after the 5th frame. So nobody seems to be able to win more than one game in a row. Will that continue?
You know, it's amazing how that goes sometimes. Everybody just kind of holds their position. Sam Flanagan bowling for pride now. He can give it his best effort. He doesn't quite do it.
Leaves the 2-pin. A lower scoring match than we thought. Flanagan looked so good the opening part of this match. At the 2-pin. Has the 2-pin, no problem. Finishing it out, a strike is 200 on the Brooklyn, and he has it finishing with 201. So Ron Winger has won the semifinal match, 223 to 201. When we come back, it'll be time for Championship Brave. Albany has its big shots, but we'll be showing you our big shots when we come back right after this.
Men, is gray hair sneaking up on you right under your nose?
It is sneaking up on me. Here, too.
You need Just for Men gel. Brush in, and in 5 minutes, rinse.
It's the sure thing for a natural look.
Just for Men gel.
Anacin, more relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you've really got a headache.
If it moves, shoot it. If it doesn't move, shoot it anyway. For big savings, look for the WD-40 bonus ounce can and gallon bonus pack.
If you think stress is tough on you, consider your engine. Traffic jams, towing and hauling, even idling can lead to damaging wear. That's why Castrol is introducing Syntec Blend, the only synthetic blend that combines Castrol conventional oil and Syntec molecular components for greater protection than conventional oil in severe driving conditions. Because too much stress can be fatal. Castrol Syntec Blend, added protection for severe driving conditions.
Just in, WKTL Weather Watch reports a possibility of snow today.
Next time, check the Weather Channel for early warnings on weather conditions 24 hours a day. The Weather Channel. No place on Earth has better weather.
Now it's time for Championship Frame, a review of our 3 previous matches. And in the opening match, Hart made a deciding, needed 9 to win the match.
Well, he'd already gotten the first strike in the 10th, the second strike in the 10th, and this was the shot to win it. Strike wins, 9 wins, 8's a tie. He got all of them but 1, and that's a winner.
His reaction, come on, baby! Just enough. And he won. Can't get any tighter than that, 237 to 236 over John Woessner. Second match, almost the same situation. Hart, first one in the 10th, needed all 3.
Needed all 3 just to tie Sam Flanagan. Here he goes in the 10th frame. This is his first ball in the 10th, and you can't throw it much better than this, and he thought it was perfect. But that 10 pin stood up again when he really didn't want it to this time. The reaction of Bob Hart is disappointment, but it's been a great week, and Bob is, I'm sure, quite happy with the way he bowled.
So we see Flanagan, 227 over Hart, 206, setting up the semifinal match. Winger, first ball in the 10th.
This is the one that put it away. He needed this strike and then to fill 10 pins on 2 balls after that, and he threw it as good as he can throw it. Ron Winger, an experienced player in the clutch, knew what to do when he needed to do it. Right here, his reaction was yes.
Elation. Winger, 223 over Flanagan, 201. That sets up Winger's opportunity to go against the king. John Handyman Handigard will be right back for that match.
I deserve a ride on a Polaris watercraft. 25 reasons. Number 1, I am a people person. Number 2, very clean ears. My toe jam collection. Isn't it beautiful? Women find me attractive. And number 25, children are our future.
Get 2 life vests free when you buy before March 31st.
This is a nice soapy head of hair, and this is a nice soapy head of hair. At Ramada, you can get your hair clean. At Holiday Inn, you can get your hair clean. You can shampoo here, or you can shampoo here. But a shower here will be a better value for your dollar than the shower you'll take here. Maybe that's why last year, 23 million people chose Ramada over Holiday Inn. All things being equal, we're better. So call 1-800-2-RAMADA.
Hey, where's the kids?
It's just you and me tonight.
And chicken marsala.
Your favorite.
Oh, but it gave me heartburn last time.
Not tonight.
But it's too late for Pepsid AC. The package says you've got to take it an hour before eating to prevent heartburn.
I know.
Why should I have to wait an hour to eat?
Forget that hour stuff. I got you Tangabit HB. It says it prevents heartburn in half the time.
So I can take it now and not get heartburn?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Tagamet HB, advanced prevention of heartburn in half the time.
A friend of mine said I should try America Online. So I did. I've gotten help with my golf swing, planned my next vacation. I even get stock price updates every 15 minutes. America Online puts over 100 newspapers and magazines right on my screen. I've got worldwide email, point-and-click internet access, and a great web browser. Plus new features keep getting added. Call the toll-free number and you'll receive your free startup kit and 15 free hours to look around. It's worth a try. You'll see.
Our championship match is ready to begin, but right now, Earl Anthony has a special guest that he'd like to talk to.
I'm here with Bob Cox, the tournament director for the Greater Albany PBA Senior Open. Bob, what does it take to put something like this together in such a short period of time?
A lot of work and team effort. I had a great staff behind me that just did a fabulous job. I kind of laid everything out, and they all worked very hard with me to put this all together. I can't thank everybody enough.
Well, you have to be a very happy man. Thank you very much, Bob.
And everyone here is enjoying the evening. We came over at 8 o'clock this morning. They were going their final 8 games. They had a full house at 8 o'clock this morning, Earl.
Yeah, somebody said they think they're all unemployed. They filled this place up. I don't know what they were talking about. Albany, New York.
Well, Handigard's going to make winger finish on that right lane. Starts the opening frame of the final match. Splatters it, just what you said he was doing in practice, dicing him up.
No, there was good balance on that shot. He got to the foul line with good position, got through the ball very well. Here's our first look at the, as you said, the king.
King of the senior tour, that's for sure. Well, he struck like crazy in practice. First shot right through the nose.
John, one of the hardest workers in sports. There's no question in my mind when I say that. It's the truth. This guy spends so many hours working on his game, and he also is very much in tune with his body. He really takes care of himself. He's very careful about what he puts in his body as far as anything that might affect some allergies he has, chemical imbalances it could cause. And he's very much involved with being the best John Handegard can be at any given time, not only physically but mentally.
Well, I think he has certainly earned the respect and admiration of every senior player out here. Watch him week after week after week. If he doesn't win, he's in the top 24 or in the top 5. He's just always bowls well.
Then he went out to Washington State and got the respect of the junior players on the regular tour when he beat them. That was an interesting thing we did there, Mike.
Such great balance at the foul line.
If you're going to copy a bowler and you want to do it right, you want good physical ability, you want good physical position at the foul line, ideally, John Handegard does everything the way it's supposed to be done. For the early lead.
Boy, he has, oh my goodness, I spoke too soon. He threw that so well.
Michael, I have to agree with you. I thought it was perfect, and I think Ron thought it was perfect too. Just one of those things. That ball entered at a good angle, had great rotation on it. I don't know what happened, but the 10-pin is standing there. Looked like it just kind of grew out of the floor. There's that culprit. Ron Winger switches balls, going to use as much of the lane as possible, go cross lane, hard and straight. A lot of ball speed here. Look out.
Oh my goodness, a mistake early in the match. You spotted it right away.
It's a shame that you cannot afford to give John Handegard any kind of handicap, you might say. And as you think about this, John Handegard is sitting on the bench, getting an early lead, donated. Watch the balance at the foul line. It looks like he almost sticks here. Comes up, rears up on the leg, and the ball just falls off. That oil in the middle of the lane falls off into the channel.
Can he recoup?
Not with that shot. Not with that shot. That ball never had a chance. He just kind of tugged it up to the second arrow when he's been trusting it, getting it clear out to the 5 board. That ball was 4 or 5 boards inside of his target line.
And another tough spare.
Another tough spare. The 3-6-10. He'll go cross lane again with that same spare ball, that hard-shelled, smooth surface ball, so he can skid it. He wants to fit it between the 3 and the 6.
Oh, he has it. He's got it down. All right, Handigard. Third frame, leads by 12.
John wasting no time getting up on the approach. He is anxious. He really wants this one. Again, you give John a chance to put it to you, he's going to do it. I expect a great shot here.
That's the adjustment for going high.
Adjustment for going high. The ball never quite got back. He rotated it very well, got it off his hand extremely well. John now thinking, I've got to split the difference, one a little high, one a little light. It's kind of like what they used to do in the artillery. You get one long, one short, then you let them have it right in the middle.
There were 7 300s this week as Handigard shoots the 4-pin. John had one of them, and it was against. He had 2 of them. Huh?
John had 2 300 games this week. We're going to take a look at the style of the king of the senior players, the most feared match play competitor on the senior tour. Look at the free arm swing, the good straight arm, the balance, the head never moves, very steady to the foul line, the low knee bend, and look where the shoulders are, directly out over the knee, the high follow through. That's perfect. Great balance. Look like Mike Durbin.
Interesting that was such a perfect shot, yet still he didn't hit the pocket.
Well, he made an adjustment, and he made a good shot. It just didn't react for him the way he might have expected it to. Good ball speed here. Good rotation. He liked the pocket, but he got the carry.
And a wry smile coming from him. Wenger, 4th frame, trails by only 12, but because Handigard didn't double in the 3rd frame. So he can get right back in this match if he can get himself back on track.
He has to get himself calmed down inside after making the mistake on the spare. Made a bad shot on the left lane. So really got a break there. No question about it. That ball again was off target. It did the job for him, but he didn't like the release. Here's another look at it from the normal point of view, you might say. Ron Wenger going to the foul line on lane 10. And this ball, again, he's not getting it out nearly as wide as he was before. The ball staying in the oil longer. He knows he needed it, and thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, for the double, get right back into the match. Not often you get a second chance against John Handegard. Good shot here.
And good result. As he dices that 5 up again, he keeps it light. He strikes quite frequently.
He will strike, especially that angle coming in like that. That's the ideal shot for him, getting the ball light.
So
in
what
the
does John do now? He's light and high.
Well, John will get the ball in the pocket this time.
You think so?
He's made one light, one. We went high, then light. I think this one will be right there. A little more ball speed. A little high in the head pin and almost got the split.
Well, he's just lost on that right lane.
He is. He's confused, and I'm surprised because when John makes adjustments, he usually makes the right decision. And you can see the look on his face. He doesn't know. A little shake of the head there. He's a little wary of this lane. There's the repeat of that shot high in the head pin. Got a break. The 4-7 and the 10 were standing. Only the 4-7.
Cross lane at the 4-7. That's it. I told him he's won from every position. Is winning from the top spot tougher or easier?
Well, I tell you what, I think that it's a little more difficult because I think that the guy that wins the match prior to the championship match has a little bit of an edge. He's familiar with the lanes, knows more about how they're breaking down and how the ball reaction is. So I'd give him a slight edge.
Well, right now, edge is slight, but it's in Handigard's favor. 2 pins.
Well, I'll tell you, John's game, as good as it is, has one fault, and that fault is showing up right now. And what it is, John tends to sit down sometimes, and when he sits down, by that I mean his body goes back away from the foul line. When he gets to the foul line with his sliding leg, he tends to sit down and fall back. When he does that, the ball gives him an early roll, and then he starts making adjustments off what are actually bad shots, and that's what he's going through right now. John's shoulders are falling back rather than staying forward.
His fiancée, Nancy Word. And the slimmest of margins, 1 pin, but Wenger can eliminate that if he can strike right here in the 6th frame.
Well, Winger is in ideal position. He's got John Handegard when he's not on top of his game. A strike here to take the lead and to put some pressure on John Handegard.
A lot of room. And it went high.
Never had a chance. The ball really was fired. He laid it down probably 3-4 boards to the right of where he was laying it down earlier when he was playing in the oil. And the ball never really had a chance because it was in the dry too long. It never got from the oil to the dry and back. When you lay it down in the oil, in the dry, from the get-go, it's going to hook.
Keeps the match close. A spare. And 3 pins will be the difference. Handigard has them. This time, no trouble. Boxing fans, be sure to tune in tomorrow night, March 16th, 7:30 Eastern Time for the USA Eastern Qualifiers of Amateur Boxing. The winner qualifies for the Olympic boxing trials that will be held in April. Seventh frame, 3 pins the difference. Winger working on a spare.
This has been a pretty good lane for Ron. This has got a little trust to it here. That ball, they gave him plenty of room. It came back too hard. The 4-7. The ball hits that hard. The 2-pin and the head pin go right up over the 4-7, right up over the top of him.
This is definitely just a grind him out match, or somebody who can stumble to the finish line is going to win this match.
John Handegard here is in deep meditation. He's trying to decide or figure out what is wrong with his game. He knows it's not the lanes. John is making some mistake in his game. He's not sure what it is. I can tell you, he's sitting down at the foul line. If he can correct that, get his shoulders out front, he'll start making better shots.
At the 4-7, has the spare. 5 pins is the difference right now, but both players struggling. Handegard especially struggling on the right lane. I think he moved over just looking at how he set up his feet there. Look at his career earnings on the senior tour, $327,000. High again.
John gets such a heavy roll on the ball that when he moves left and throws the ball right, it just hooks earlier. He has no chance doing that. And what's John's biggest problem, again, is he's sitting down. Here's another look at that last shot. John, instead of getting his shoulders out front and extending to the target, is sitting down at the foul line. You can see his back straighten out there. See how his back straightens out at the foul line? That's the mistake.
He's got to go for this, right?
He's got to give it a shot. He's got to give this a shot. He's got to trust it to get out there and then finish a little on the back. Slide it over. Oh, my.
Oh! Had a chance. He needs to extend like that on the first shot.
That's
right?
exactly right, Mike. That spare shot was the position he should be in on a strike ball at the foul line.
Well, right now the difference is 8 pins, 3 frames to go. Handigard totally lost on the right lane. He told Bobby Dinkins down there that he threw that ball right where he wanted to throw it. He thinks it's a lane. Ron looking on, knowing that he took the lead while sitting on the bench, usually a very good sign. Handigard gets the light hit. Nothing solid. Well, it's either light or high. He's getting that over-under that you talked about.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit over-under on the lanes possibly is affecting John's ability to make the shot he wants to make. He doesn't look as confident as he normally is. Ron Winger with the golden opportunity here to put John Handegard in a position that will make him find something on lane 10. If Winger doesn't get some strikes going here, he's going to just put Handegard in position of finishing out this match and killing him on lane 9.
It's going to go high.
Oh, boy.
Oh, he got what a break. That 10 pin fell over, leaves just the 4-7. And obviously these lanes are changing, though, Earl. They got to be.
The two players talking to each other there, you could see they're commiserating, you might say, both feeling that there's a big transition going on with the oil on lane 10. And I think they're both just playing too far out in the dry. They need to get into the oil and stay in the oil, which is more toward the middle of the lane, and then they can get the ball reaction they want.
At the 4-7, nothing is a gimme here. The LPBT, the Texas Border Shootout, Wednesday night, 12:30 a.m. That's 9:30 on the coast. You'll be out on the coast. That's prime time for you, Earl.
It's prime time. I'll be there. I'll be watching that.
Good.
Tell you what, the talent on the Ladies Bowlers Tour is phenomenal. I get a kick out of watching people like Tish Johnson doing that big hook down there. I enjoy watching the ladies. Great players.
9th frame. On his good lane. Will he get up there? Yes. Finally a strike. We haven't had one in a while.
Well, the key, obviously, is who's going to bowl the best on lane 10. John Handegard, this is his last shot on this lane, and really, if he can spare here and double on lane 9, he can take the lead in the match. The key is going to be that Ron Winger has to finish on lane 10.
If he can strike, he takes the lead. Orloff is there. Oh my goodness, a solid 8. He finally makes the perfect shot and can't get a strike.
Unbelievable. What a time to have that happen. When you're going to get a bad break like that, you don't mind it in the first, second, or third frame. But when it happens in the position that John Handegard is in right now, where that would have taken the lead in the match and gave him a chance to bowl on his good lane and win the match, my.
Wow.
It's like a knife in your heart.
At the 8-pin. No trouble, but can he regroup emotionally going into the 10th? For those of you that are tuned in expecting pro celebrity billiards, it'll be coming up right after we finish. We're in the 10th frame. The outcome of this match still very much in doubt. Handigard trailing by 6. Has to hurry, and does. Still alive, Earl.
Still alive, and you can see by the look on Nancy's face that she's not real confident right now. John always confident, and we see him working on his shoe there. He has a wire brush that he always uses between shots on his shoe to make sure there's nothing of any foreign material there. You can see Ron Winger sitting on the bench, knows that regardless of what John Handegard does here, he can get up in the 10th frame. If he can find a way to strike on lane 10, he can win the match.
This is for the lead in the match. Trying for his first double. Perfect. What a competitor, huh?
What a competitor, and he's put it right back in the lap of Ron Winger, who has to perform on the tough lane in the 10th frame, lane 10.
If he strikes here, he'll finish with 196 and 6 strikes on the left lane, 0 on the right lane.
And any strike, if that solid 9-pin would have been a winner in the match. He would have won the match.
Right. It would have been all over right now. That would have been the lockup shot right there.
Regardless of what John does on this ball, Ron Winger needs to throw a strike on the first ball in the 10th frame to win the tournament.
Well, they bowled 42 games. Winger's bowled 1 game on television. Any second, it comes down to 1 ball for the championship of the Greater Albany Senior Open. For the win. And the 4-pin. Handigard has overcome. John Handegard has won his 12th senior PBA title of the Greater Albany Senior Open. The disappointment on Winger's face. He's going to finish second, make $4,100. We're going to commercial break right now. John Handegard has won this tournament, bowling a game under 200 when he averaged over 230 for the week.